what's the worst case scenario? Someone gets seriously hurt. Someone has like life-altering injuries, and that can happen in boxing. We've seen this.
Yes. One question real quick. So we know Barrios is going to bring a straightforward style to you. I think he's got these sneaky hooks. What are you going to do to counter those hooks that he's going to be?
Making a comeback in a brutal sport like boxing, especially at the age of 46, is more than just risky. It can be downright dangerous. That's exactly why Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring has stirred a mix of emotions across the boxing world. Fans and experts alike admire Pacquiao's warrior spirit and history of defying expectations, but many are deeply worried about his health. The thought of a legend like Pacquiao suffering a brutal knockout or sustaining serious injury has cast a shadow over the excitement of his return. Pacquiao, however, didn't let the growing concern go unanswered. Addressing fans and critics directly, he spoke with calm confidence, assuring everyone that he's not stepping back into the ring lightly. He's aware of the risks, but he's also prepared, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Still, the debate continues. Is this a glorious final chapter in a legendary career, or a dangerous gamble that could end badly? As we take a closer look at the concerns raised by the boxing community, we also explore how Pacquiao's own words and mindset are helping put those fears to rest.
Because, like I said, boxing is always my passion, and I miss boxing for how many years? 4 years I stopped boxing. I was always thinking boxing, and even in my house I have a boxing ring, boxing gym, and I always work out every day, like playing basketball, playing badminton. So I really love exercise, and I really miss boxing.
While fans hope for one final glimpse of greatness from the Filipino legend, several prominent voices in combat sports quickly raised red flags, not questioning Pacquiao's skill, but warning of the serious dangers that come with fighting at such an advanced age. Among the first to speak out was respected combat sports journalist Ariel Helwani. Known for his extensive coverage of both MMA and boxing, Helwani didn't hold back. He highlighted the harsh reality fans often avoid. The risk of severe injury or even life-altering trauma if things go wrong in the ring for a 46-year-old fighter like Pacquiao.
What's the worst case scenario? Someone gets seriously hurt. Someone has like life-altering injuries, and that can happen in boxing. We've seen this.
Helwani pointed out that Pacquiao has already suffered a brutal knockout in the past, but emphasized that at 46, the body doesn't recover like it did in his younger years. The risks now aren't just greater. They're exponentially more dangerous, raising serious concerns about long-term health consequences.
And immune to this. He's been knocked out. He's been hit. He's not Floyd, who has been hardly hit. Like, he's been knocked out cold. I thought when he got knocked out by Marquez, I thought he died. It was that scary.
This wasn't just media hype or clickbait fear-mongering. When a legend like Sugar Ray Leonard speaks, people pay attention. Leonard, who's endured both the glory and the painful consequences of a long boxing career, understands the lasting damage that comes with repeated head trauma. He offered Manny Pacquiao a sincere and heartfelt piece of advice. Prioritize your health and know your limits. It may sound simple, but from Leonard, who once retired due to an eye injury and later struggled with his own comeback decisions, it held powerful meaning. His message wasn't harsh or judgmental. It was paternal, even emotional. A gentle plea from one great to another.
Manny, just any advice from him at all? Just be healthy and do what you think you can do. It's a hard thing to do.
Ricky Hatton, another former world champion and beloved figure in boxing, shared similar concerns. Having stepped away from the sport and made a return before finally retiring, Hatton now works as a trainer and promoter, witnessing both the action and the aftermath up close. When asked about Pacquiao's comeback, he didn't talk about fight strategy or ticket sales. His first words were simple and telling, "I just hope Manny doesn't get hurt." That single sentence speaks volumes. Coming from a man who spent decades immersed in the sport, the lack of hype or excitement made it clear his concern is purely about Pacquiao's safety.
Barrios, Manny, former opponent of yours, a lot of reports he's going to fight Mario Barrios for the WBC title a number of years out of the ring. What do you make of it?
Well, one, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I think there's every chance he could do.
Then there's Timothy Bradley. who knows Pacquiao well after 3 intense battles in the ring. Bradley acknowledged that, physically, Manny looks far better than most fighters at 46, a rare exception in boxing.
I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age.
But Bradley didn't let Manny's impressive physique cloud his judgment. He recalled Pacquiao's 2021 bout against Dennis Yugas, noting that the legend didn't look like his old self. His timing was off, his speed had slowed, and the explosive energy that once defined him appeared to have significantly faded.
You have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Yugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter younger.
Now, for years after Pacquiao's last fight, Timothy Bradley questioned how much more wear and tear his body has taken. It's not just about age, it's about the challenge ahead. This time, Pacquiao is facing Mario Barrios, a younger, taller, and ring-gear opponent who's skilled at controlling distance. Bradley didn't sugarcoat his concerns, warning that the combination of age, size disadvantage, and a 4-year layoff creates a dangerous scenario. Perhaps most sobering was Bradley's observation that legends like Pacquiao often don't know when to stop, continuing until they suffer one loss too many, a heartbreaking pattern all too familiar in boxing history.
Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they...
Even those who once supported Pacquiao's previous comebacks are now voicing serious concerns. Legendary promoter Bob Arum, CEO of Top Rank and longtime associate Pacquiao, has been candid about the risks. Back in 2021, when Manny was still in his early 40s, Arum publicly warned that continuing to fight at that age could lead to serious brain damage. He urged the 8th Division champion to think about the long-term consequences of staying in the ring. And if that was Arum's opinion 4 years ago, it's easy to imagine how much deeper his concern must be now, with Manny at 46.
Any fighter goes into his 40s, runs a risk of brain damage. That is not something that I'm making up. It's something that the medical people will tell you. Whether that applies to Manny Pacquiao, I don't know. I haven't examined Pacquiao. I'm just saying at his age, it becomes a problem.
But here's the thing. Manny Pacquiao isn't just any 46-year-old making a comeback. He's not a faded star chasing relevance or a paycheck. He's an 8th Division world champion, a living legend who's built his career on defying expectations. And if you've seen him lately, you'll understand why he's not the least bit worried. In a recent photo shoot, Pacquiao's physique caught everyone's attention. While speed can't be captured in a still image, his conditioning spoke volumes. He looked sharp, lean, and ready, like a fighter who never left the grind. And according to Manny himself, that's exactly the case. He never stopped training. After weeks of concern and criticism from fighters, analysts, and fans, Manny Pacquiao finally broke his silence. He wasn't defensive or dismissive. In fact, he welcomed concern, appreciating the care behind it. But he made one thing crystal clear. He knows exactly what he's doing. Pacquiao explained that his 4-year break wasn't a setback, but a much-needed blessing. After decades of non-stop competition, his body finally had time to heal. Just as importantly, his mind and spirit also had time to recharge. Now, he's not just returning with the same legendary fire. He believes he's coming back with a renewed sense of purpose.
When I announced retirement 4 years ago, I feel like...
Pacquiao isn't living in denial. He openly admitted that if he noticed any red flags, slower reflexes, diminished strength, or a lack of readiness, he wouldn't be making this return. If there was something wrong with my body or my preparation, I wouldn't make this return, he stated. This wasn't just a soundbite. It was a thoughtful decision from a fighter known for being honest with himself. He doesn't need the spotlight or the payday. He's coming back because he truly wants to, and more importantly, he still believes he has what it takes to compete.